course, the supporters of channel member Kyle Bykirch. So, how do we all feel about just reloading? Because that winger I signed at the end of yesterday's episode, that might be one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in 10 years on YouTube. Not because he's not good, because he's fine. I mean, he's everything that I would normally look for in a winger. But he's very expensive, and we cannot register him in the squad. There is no way to get him in. Not only that, after the episode finished recording yesterday, I remembered that this guy existed, wherever he is, Francis Miranda, an 18-year-old who's come through our youth system, who literally plays the same position. So I've upgraded him into the first team squad. We can fit him in. We can afford him because he's only $5,000 a week. So he is in. The other guy is not. And I don't think there's a way to cancel the loan. So I think we're just stuck with him at least until January, where I think we're going to be able to cancel the loan. It also means we can't do any more transfers. We're spent up as a result of that transfer. So we can't go out and buy the backup goalkeeper that we need. It was just, I'm tired. I've not been getting a lot of sleep lately. For those of you who follow my other channels as well, I'm currently renovating my new studio for my Lego channel. I've not been home before midnight for a week. I'm blaming it all on that. It's just a disastrous signing. Less disastrous is the fact we have started the season pretty well. We've scored 4 goals in both of our games, and we do start the season top of La Liga, which is exactly where we finished last season. Interestingly, Real Madrid seem to have woken up this season. Barcelona, less so. They're down in the bottom half of the table. Of course, it is still very early days, but we've now got the Mallorca derby. We play Mallorca. Of course, we're still ground sharing with them at the moment, and this is our team. And I think we're just using the 4-3-3 home and away now. I think it just suits us better. Davies, I think, certainly while Zahir is injured, has his permanent home out on the right-hand side where he's performing really well. And it just allows us to play Benitez and Urenki, and they're both very, very good in central midfield. Obviously, the moment we get some injuries, we're going to have to shuffle things around, so we don't have a lot down on the bench. But Zahir's coming back soon as well, so that's also a bonus. But it is Youngworth in goal, a back four of Salinas, Rackman, Rodriguez and Harney, Perez, Urenki and Benitez in midfield, then Mathiasson on the left, Davies on the right, Harder up front. Let's get the team submitted, and fingers crossed, keep our winning start to the season running, flowing, going. What words am I looking for? When did we sign him? Does he have to be here a month before we can send him back? I know there's some kind of rule like that. Well, it is now the next day. I hope you saw my message that I put out on the community page yesterday. I put it on Twitter as well. I am having some major computer problems. I am hoping the game doesn't crash, but I tried to start this game 3 times yesterday and it completely wiped out my entire computer each time. Like, the computer goes off, full reset, the works. So I gave up because I didn't have time to not give up at the time. I have spoken to Matt, Nerdphonic, who you will no doubt know from within the Football Manager community, the Streamer Showdown man, the man who fixes all of our computers. He thinks my processor is dying. It's a known issue with the processor that I've got. So it might keep happening, but it might sporadically work. So we're going to try. I am looking into either replacing that or switching to my MacBook or something. But yeah, if this video made it out, that means it didn't crash while I was doing this. It does mean streaming is going to be a little bit questionable until we've fixed it. And it does mean I might not be able to get something out every day, because some days it might just not cooperate at all. But let's see how it goes, I guess. I think I introduced the team before it crashed. In fact, what I am going to do is we're just going to save, and I'm going to stop the recording and start again. So if it does crash, at least this bit survives. So there is our new look team. Let's go try and play Mallorca and hope the game doesn't just fall apart. Because the one thing, and I know this is going to be like perfect ammunition for the FM26 haters. I don't think it is an FM issue, because it happens with other games as well. Basically anything that is generating a lot of processing that needs to be. It's not a graphics thing. It's Football Manager is very processor heavy rather than very graphics heavy. And anytime I'm pushing the processor a little bit too hard, that's what's happening. And unfortunately, the nature of making videos on a processor heavy computer game means that I'm going to be pushing the processor quite hard. So yeah, like I say, Matt's going to come and have a look at it when I've stopped working him on my Lego studio that he's currently building for me, which means he's going to be there for a couple of days because we've got sawdust everywhere. I can't let him out of that room until that's done, but he is then going to have a look at this for me. And if it's fixable, he'll fix it. If I have to replace something, he'll replace it. If not, we'll figure something out from there. It's not the ideal month for me to have to buy an entirely new PC because, like I say, just currently paying to have an entire studio renovated. So fingers crossed it doesn't come to that. But yeah, I think I've given you enough excuses now for why things might be a little bit less consistent than they usually are. For a little while, we'll see. What they aren't, though, is excuses for why we might not be winning this game. Mallorca are a team that we traditionally wallop. We've obviously had this good start to the season. So I'd like to wallop them if it's all the same with all of you. Mathiasen plays it out to Salinas, and now Mathiasen again plays it back to Perez. I mean, the game seems to be working at the moment, doesn't it? Harney, that might be the kiss of death. Harney goes past his man. It takes a touch off a defender, ends up in the back of the net. It's 1-1. Harney, by the way, we've just turned down a £47.5 million offer for him. I forget who it was from because it was yesterday, because I'm recording this the next day now. But I do remember the offer, and I do remember that he didn't want to go. He said he was happy to discuss. I think it was like Bayern Munich or somebody. He was happy to discuss terms, but just as happy to stay. So obviously he stays. There was a part of me that did think, I mean, if I do sell him, it solves all of the problems I've created for myself, other than the fact we then have to go and buy a right back. But he's like 6'5". He's a 6'5" physical right back. I'm not going to be able to replace a man like that. No amount of money is worth getting rid of a giant, fast right back. Right, Youngworth collects the ball from the cross. And I would really like us to go on and win the football match, please. Highlight starting from their goalkeeper hopefully means we're about to win the ball back and go and do something lovely rather than them go and do a wonder goal. But it is them still on the attack at the moment. Oh, there you go. That's why we can't sell Harney. That's proper defending. You don't get a lot of that in FM26. Proper defending where he did a tackle, came away with the ball. He's trying to put in a man of the match performance here. He's made the goal. He's done all of the defending. Now he's charging forward on the overlap again, trying to give Davies an option. Harney, I mean, I don't know how he's only showing as a 6.5. If assists got allocated to the last person who touched the ball before an own goal, I mean, if it had been a blue shirt that went in off, he gets an assist there. It's a little bit harsh that he doesn't get an assist. That can't be how it works in real life, surely. If you kick the ball into a defender and then it goes into the back of the net, you got to get an assist for that. I'm sure you get an assist for that. Right. Let's sort ourselves out. Oh, they've got in again there. They've hit the post. The linesman had his flag up, though, so I think we've got away with that one a little bit. The other thing that I am planning on doing, and it won't be out today because hopefully this video will be out today. I am trying again with this on Matt's advice. The other thing I want to do is maybe start doing some content, starting to look ahead to FM27, which presumably is coming. I did ask in the community post what your expectations are for the new game, and I am keen to know your thoughts, maybe in the comments of this video. Well, where are your expectations for FM27 currently? Where is the consumer sentiment of the LOLLUJO audience? I'm not looking for like the wider thoughts from the Football Manager audience as a whole. I want to know what we as a community are expecting. Are our hopes high? Are they low? Is it they've had another year, hopefully it'll be better, or they've had another year, it'd better be better? I am keen to see where we're all sat with it, but in the meantime, Harder has continued his excellent start to the season by grabbing a second goal for us. Does put us ahead in the match. And fingers crossed, we go on and rattle a few passes. I think the last few times we've played Mallorca, we've scored 4 goals. So I do like to regularly assert my authority as the king of Mallorca. And it's this match that I use for that purpose. Right, Perez has come back to support the defenders. And now Benitez drops deep as well, plays it into Hani, who's charging forward on the overlap again, finds Harder. It's a second goal for Harder. Should be a second assist for Hani, but at least he gets a little bit of credit now. That should bump his rating up because it is a legitimate assist that gets put next to his name. There you go. That one assist takes him from a 6.5 to a 7.5. My question is, how was what he did there any better than what he did for the first goal, where he basically did the same thing and it was the same outcome, a goal for us? That he should be on an 8.5 if every time he does that he gets a point. They have just attacked down his side and we've conceded a goal, although it's going to VAR and the VAR disallows it because it wants Hani to have a man of the match performance, which I think is very fair. To be fair, look, that guy's miles offside, so we're comfortable with it. Right, what have we got on the bench? Not a lot, if I recall. Oh my word, our squad is so small. Miranda has appeared, but I don't think Miranda is fit. Zahir is also not fit. So I don't actually think we can make 5 substitutions of fit players. Yeah, because these two are not ready to play. So, wowzers. Right, Hani's going to come off for Perotti because he's my new boy and I want to get him into the team. He's probably going to come in ahead of Rodriguez eventually, but for now, we're easing him in gently. We'll also take off Davies and bring on Jobs. And that will do for now, I think, with 20 minutes to go. We don't want to rush our substitutions. We don't have many of them. I am looking at other young players to potentially bring up into the squad just to fill up the bench. That's where Miranda came from. The only problem is, unlike in the Premier League where anyone under 21 can just play, it seems like the La Liga rule is you have to be 18 or under on the 1st of January of that season. So like Miranda has to be registered, even though he's 18 years old, because he turns 19 in November, he has to be registered. And so it means anyone like, yeah, we could probably find a couple of kids who we don't need to have registered, but they're not going to be close to first team ready. And I don't really want to use players who aren't close to first team ready. Right. We are going to just make those last couple of substitutions. So we were able to do 5 in the end. We are down to 2 subs, neither of them a goalkeeper, because we don't have a fit goalkeeper to sit on our bench at the moment, which again, I don't see how that could possibly go on to become problematic later in the season. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Right, Jobs, charging clear. He's got options ahead of him, decides to have a shot and very nearly scores. It comes back off the post. We are trying to grab our traditional 4 goals against Mallorca. We've got 10 minutes to do it in. And Perotti doing some nice defending there on that right-hand side. Harder's obviously looking for a hat-trick as well, so if we can get the ball to him, that would be super. But Salinas to Rackman, and now Rodriguez across to Perotti, and now Jobs, Van Essen. We're knocking the ball around very nicely here. Jobs out to Perotti again. And now Benitez. Oh, this is nice flowing football. Cross comes in. Canadas. We know he's a big physical presence in that far post. He does well to play it back across to, I think it was Benitez, bursting forward out of midfield, but he wasn't able to find the finish. And now Canadas gives the ball away. And we're entering the 90th minute. And I suspect this one is all over. And I kind of just want it to end now so I can hit save and know that the game didn't crash and we got at least 1 match for an episode, because that means I should be able to get a video out today. Canadas is in again, and there is the 4th. The tradition continues. When we go to Mallorca, we score 4 goals. That's just how it works. Mallorca 1, Andratch 4. Lovely, lovely, lovely. For goodness sake, get me to the save button urgently. Well, as part of my campaign for this season to be the season we win the Champions League, we did sign another player on deadline day, just a backup right back. Inigo Boedo is a right back. He can also play in midfield, so it gives us some cover in 2 positions we needed some cover in. We can't afford to register him. Afford is the wrong word, because we've got loads of money. We're not allowed to register him for La Liga, but he is registered for the Champions League squad, so it's a silly situation. These 2 loans both won't play for us at all in the league. We didn't let anybody else leave. We did turn down a £27 million offer for Van Essen, which came in after our transfer window closed, which is a little bit frustrating, because if they'd have offered that for him just before, we probably would have let him go and registered that new right back / midfielder to replace him, because he was really a player we brought in when we were using the double pivot. He's not started a game since we've just committed all in on the 4-3-3. So we probably could have let him go. It was good money, but ultimately wasn't going to be enough money to let us register the winger, whatever his name is, Zoega, because wage budget is the problem, not like budget. In the meantime, we have maintained our winning start to the season as well, picking up 2 more wins in La Liga, 1 over Sevilla, 1 over Real Sociedad, which leaves us top of the league, 5 wins from 5. Easy peasy until we get an injury. And this is the team for the first Champions League game of the season, where we are at home to Juventus. It's Youngworth in goal, a back four of Salinas, Rackman, Rodriguez and Hani, Perez, Urenki and Rosado in midfield, Mathiasen on the left, Davies on the right, Harder up front. It is very much the full strength team, at least as it stands at the moment. And let's send a message to Europe. We've been progressively improving in Europe every year we've been in it. We obviously won the Europa League, and then I think we've done quarter-final, then semi-final in the Champions League in the last 2 years. This is the year we win the whole thing before my computer dies. That's the plan. Although, to be fair, it hasn't crashed yet today, so maybe it's because yesterday was particularly warm, although it's 28 degrees today, but I don't know. Matt did say it's something that will happen sporadically. There'll be days like yesterday where it just doesn't work at all. And hopefully, touch wood, days like today where it's absolutely fine. And I guess I'll try and bank some videos and get a little bit ahead again, which I usually am, to be honest. It wouldn't normally be a problem, but because of all the stuff going on with the studio at the moment, I'm very stretched for time. And that's why I haven't been able to get a load of videos banked up like I normally would. We haven't won this game. We haven't won this. See, I'm tired. I warned you I was tired. But yeah, let's try and do a football goal in this one. Youngworth makes the save. Lovely stuff from him. And now, if we could maybe do something remotely attacking, I would like that. We obviously do have Zoeda on the bench to come on as an attacking option in a game like this, which we are going to have to remember to use those 2 loanees quite often in the Champions League. It's a similar situation to what we had last year when we had that right back who we ended up selling to Brighton, who was registered for the Champions League but not the league. Well, we've got 2 players this year and we need to use them, because that's where our rotation is going to come in. You've seen how desperate the situation is in the league with only 5 players on the bench. But in the Champions League, we've got 7. So we need to make sure we're using the 2 that can't play in our weekend matches. See, always thinking, and Urenki showing why he's causing all of the problems by being paid so much money, by putting in a man of the match performance against Juventus so far, which is jolly nice to see. Hani to Rosado, and now Hani again. Rodriguez, Hani. Is he going to do? There you go. It's back to Rodriguez. Centre back there is weird, but I guess we were off the back of a set piece. Rosado certainly having a decent game. He's not. I think this might be his first start actually. Since coming in the summer as a backup, both in midfield and up front. Obviously Benitez would normally be in. But yeah, Rosado looking the part, that's for sure. Testing the goalkeeper from range there. And let's make these substitutions. So these 2 are just no-brainers in this situation. So he comes on for Hani. He is going to come on for Mathiasen. We'll swap those 2 over and get Zoega on that side. And then I think we'll give Harder a rest as well, because having Zoega there means Canadas can come on up front rather than wide. And that allows us to give Harder a little bit of a break, because we don't really, aside from Rosado and Canadas, there isn't really any kind of backup to Harder in the squad now, which again is not ideal. But Davies plays it across. Urenki is there with the header. Again, we've got weird squad number stuff going on, haven't we? I don't know how Davies consistently gets a worse squad number every time I press auto-allocate squad numbers. But he's now all the way out at number 24. He must have chosen it. If we're looking for the canon explanation, it's his favourite number. Right, Davies is now going to come off. Jobs can come on for him. And then Benitez is having a rest, so we leave him off. Van Essen can come on for... We'll bring him on for Perez. And then if need be, Miranda can come on, but we've already changed the whole of the front three. And we don't really want to mess around with playing any of those players who don't really like playing in midfield just to fit Miranda onto the pitch. So he's gonna have to wait his turn. That was a poor attacking attempt from Juventus straight at Youngworth. He collects comfortably. And now if we can go and add a second, this isn't really us sending a message to Europe like I hoped we would, but I guess it is one of the best teams in Spain, if not the best team in Spain, against one of the best teams in Italy. So it's quite a big deal for a match day one Champions League match. This could easily be like a semi-final, quarter-final later down in the competition. Canadas plays it to Jobs, who's through on goal. Surely Jobs has hit the crossbar. I mean, that is not befitting a man who inexplicably is wearing the number 9, and Zoega showing why we were spending all that money on him, giving the ball away in a position where he probably shouldn't have done. I wonder, I'm looking at this for next season's planning. Urenki is going to be 33 at the start of next season, still under contract, still on a lot of money. There is an argument that we only register him for the Champions League next season and not the league, and use him as a player who just comes in for these kind of matches. Because by unregistering him in the league, we could probably register 4 or 5 players in his place and have a full squad in the league, and then a real top tier, like elite player to come in for the Champions League matches, which would probably be a better way of doing it. We just need to get him to agree to it. And I suspect on the contract he's on now, he's not going to agree to not being in the La Liga squad. So over the course of the season, we need to chip away at him and get him down to being happy being like a rotation option. But he scored the all-important goal there today, which means our perfect start to the season in all competitions continues. And most importantly, if this saves, we've got an episode out. Goodness me, I can't promise you one tomorrow, but I will try. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.